Dylan, what's the poll question, at least to start out first hour?
Well, we can start with a simple one, Dan. Do the Heat win a title with Giannis? Yes or no?
Wow. I just said don't underestimate Pat Riley, but I don't think they win a title. I love Bam Adebayo, and you have him with Giannis, and they're going to be great on defense, and those two on offense, but I don't know who you're sprinkling in. The Knicks are still going to be formidable. Boston. See, to me, the big question now is Jaylen Brown. If I'm Jaylen Brown, and I just picked up the pieces of what you thought was going to be a lost year, a gap year, because you had Tatum who got injured. Jaylen Brown was an MVP candidate, and all of a sudden, and his name has been mentioned in trade talks, not just this year, but last year and the year before that. And if you're Jaylen Brown, you got a taste of leading your own team. He might just say to Brad Stevens, hey, how about I get out of here, okay? He might say that today. How about I get out of here? Yes, Marvin.
What's going on behind the scenes in Boston? Because it feels like they're always trying to trade him, and they've won a title. They've been to about 5 or 6 conference titles. They went to another NBA Finals where they lost to the Warriors. What is going on in Boston where they're trying to get rid of Jaylen Brown? It's been working.
I don't know why you don't just reload and get ready for the next season. Feels like you would still be the favorites in the East, even though the Knicks won the title, if Tatum is back at the start of the season. But, they talked about trading, a couple of different players there. But if I'm Jaylen Brown, at what point do you say, I got to move on here? Because I can't be showing up every day, going to sleep at night going, am I getting traded? Hey, there's a rumor here. Somebody wants to ask you about that. It's not going away. Yeah, Paulie.
Jaylen Brown feels perpetually unembraced, both locally and nationally. He is 2 years younger than Giannis, 2 full years, 2 fewer seasons of basketball and mileage. He averages 29, 7, and 5. His stats are right there. I can't imagine if you looked at that, why would you want to get older at that position?
Well, this is the danger. The Celtics took a big swing on Giannis, and they missed. So now you have to try to fix, heal, embrace this relationship, make it better. I don't know if Jaylen Brown goes, this is just business. Either way, Boston now enters the offseason with more questions than answers, and it feels like they're self-inflicted here. Yes, Marvin.
And with the Heat, I know you have Bam, I know you have Giannis, but you've seen the last 2 or 3 or 4 NBA champions, and the common denominator has been depth. Yeah. And so now you have 2 high-priced players, but you need depth in order to win.
But there's certain organizations that you go, yep, they're smarter than everybody. We'll look at the Heat and go, well, they know something. And then we'll look at the Wizards and we'll go, well, they don't know anything. By the way, they just re-signed Trae Young, 4 years, $212 million.
And it feels like a wrong move.
Yeah, but they're on the clock. They have the number 1 pick, and the odds are it's A.J. DeBanza, and then Darren Peterson expected to go. I think the first 8 or 9 picks, the expectation of those 8 or 9 picks, they're all freshmen. At least they spent 1 year in college. Yes, Dylan.
I know they're a professional sports team, but doesn't it feel kind of surprising the Wizards have $212 million to spend on anything?
Well, everybody kind of has the same amount of money to spend. It's just, what do you do with that money? But I'm looking back on Jaylen Brown. He was rumored to be in trade packages for Anthony Davis, Kevin Durant, Giannis, and other assets over the years. But, you get a taste of running your own team, leading your own team, and doing it at a high level. And that's why I thought maybe he would end up in Milwaukee. I think most of these NBA insiders were looking at, if you're Milwaukee and I get Jaylen Brown, I got at least a guy that people know. He's played on a very high level. That's why I thought maybe they're going to get him. And instead, Miami just basically said, who do you want on the roster? And we'll throw in some picks as well. Yes, Todd?
Is this in any way flattering, or could a positive spin be made for Jaylen and his agent and his camp that he's named with all these other huge stars, and the only way we can make this deal is if we throw in someone as great as Jaylen Brown? Or is it more just that it sucks that they keep looking for a way to get him off the team?
Well, how would you feel if I was trying to acquire somebody for the Dan Patrick Show and your name was always brought up? Would you feel like, wow?
My instincts would be to be unhappy that, like, wow, it's so easy for them to throw me in the mix to discard me like that.
So I would say that's how Jaylen Brown would feel. I wouldn't be like, man, everybody wants me except for Boston. Yes, Paulie.
Yeah, Dan, you got to say, Todd, you're being pursued by everybody.
Yeah.
I can't make this deal unless I'm willing to put you up for this.
All right, 877-3DP Show. Email address, dp@danpatrick.com. Twitter handle at DP Show. Wyndham Clark will join us, the U.S. Open champ, in about an hour from now. And Adam Silver, NBA commissioner. Any other poll questions for the first hour, Dylan?
Yeah, Todd actually sent this one over, which is topical after being the subject of trade rumors again. Should Jaylen Brown demand out of Boston?
Demand. Oh. I don't know if I'd use the word demand if I'm Jaylen Brown or his agent, but I would suggest that let's stop the charade here. Do you think we can win a championship? If we reload, do you think we can win a championship? And if you don't think, and you want to move on from me, and you want Jason Tatum as the centerpiece, then let's do that. I've given you a lot of really good years here. We won a championship here. Can you at least be honest with me and maybe send me someplace that I would like to go? Yeah, Dill.
Yeah, it's funny. Like they won the title in 24, but for some reason it still kind of feels like the Tatum Brown era trends more on the failure side, big picture. I think maybe because it's in Boston where expectations at this point are very different. But there's a lot of organizations where they'd be like, "You're good," but it doesn't feel that way. I don't know why.
Yeah, because even when they signed both of them, and then Jaylen Brown got his extension, and then we're like, do you really need two guys who play the same position? Okay. I go back to, can you have enough of these kind of players? These are the 3-and-D, these are the guys who can hit three-pointers. Now, too many. Now we have two guys who can play this way. Keep in mind, now this is years ago, Portland didn't take Michael Jordan because they already had Clyde Drexler. They're like, well, we don't want somebody who can play the same position. We need a big guy. Now, philosophies have changed greatly since then because basketball is positionless. But I don't want to have the mindset of, we got two guys, you still have to stop my two guys. My problem with Boston is stop shooting so many threes. In the regular season, it's fine. Go ahead. Have some fun. Postseason, you saw these two teams who did not rely on the three-point shot. Oklahoma City doesn't rely on it. San Antonio didn't rely on it. The one game when they tried to rely on it, they missed 9 in a row and blew that huge lead. The Knicks aren't reliant on the three-point shot. Maybe there's a trend that's turning a little bit, but Boston, you can't be Golden State. Yeah, Paulie.
And Giannis would have been the guy to fix that for the Celtics. He averaged only 1.3 threes attempted per game last year.
Yeah.
About 5 years ago, he was averaging 5 threes a game attempted.
Yeah, I don't want you shooting threes. I want you shooting twos, and I want you getting to the hoop.